Hey vinyl community, it's Michael. Welcome back to Near Wild Heaven. Everybody seems to like these 15 albums from my collection videos, so I'm going to do another one today. And I'd like to thank everyone who watched the last one. It's got 3,400 views over that by now, but thanks so much for everyone tuning in for that video, and also thank you to everyone who subscribed in the last 2 weeks or so. And if you're new to this channel and you like what you see, please subscribe. Hit the like button. So let's get on with it. This 15 albums from my collection, and starting off with, this is Jefferson Airplane, Crown of Creation. This is their fourth album from 1968 on the RCA label. Great album from Jefferson Airplane. Everybody knows this one. Crown of Creation, great song. Everything on here, Lather, Share a Little Joke, Ice Cream Phoenix, Greasy Heart, and The House at Punil Corners. All of it is just a great psych album from a well-known psychedelic band from the 60s. Crown of Creation, Jefferson Airplane, great album. Up next, this is Atomic Rooster, Death Walks Behind You. This came out in 1971 on the Electro label. This has Vincent Crane on organ. He was also in The Crazy World of Arthur Brown. But this is great. Good psychedelic, organ-dominated, just psych rock. It's hard rock, psych rock. A lot of good stuff in here. It's a great album by Atomic Rooster, Death Walks Behind You. Up next, jumping into the 80s, this is the Gun Club, Sex Beat 81. This was a Record Store Day release from about 2017 or so. But yeah, it's a live album. It's recorded in 1981. But lots of good stuff. This one doesn't sound too bad. The Gun Club albums that they've been releasing on Record Store Day, the live ones, a lot of them sound like shit. You know, sorry to be blunt about it, but that's what, they're just bad recordings. And why they keep releasing those, I don't know. But this one's not too bad. It's not great, but it sounds a lot better than the other ones that they've been putting out. But it's got some great songs on it. She's Like Heroin to Me, Devil in the Woods, Preaching the Blues, Black Train. All of it's really good. If you like the Gun Club, you like Cramps and stuff like that, this is a good one to get. The Gun Club. What's it called? Sex Beat 81. Up next, this is Captain Beefheart, Lick My Decals Off, Baby. This is the album that came out right after Trout Mask Replica. And it's in the same vein. It's kind of a challenging listen, but it's still a little bit more coherent than Trout Mask Replica. But I like Captain Beefheart. I like all of his albums. I mean, I know some are more difficult to listen to than others, but I just like the guy, the personality and everything about him. This is a strange and wonderful person there. But yeah, Captain Beefheart and the Magic Band, Lick My Decals Off, Baby. This is, as you can tell by the sticker there, this is a white label promo on Frank Zappa's straight label. You see there? But great album. Well, I don't know about great, but he's done other stuff that are better than this. But I still like this album. Like I said, it's similar in style to what he was doing on Trout Mask Replica. Um, so it is a challenging listen, but I've grown to like it. But Captain Beefheart, Magic Band, Lick My Decals Off, Baby. Up here, now we're into some new wave. This is Echo and the Bunnymen, Heaven Up Here. This was their second album from 1981. And yeah, this is great. If you like their first album, this is kind of a continuation of the sound of that one. Great songs, Over the Wall, It Was a Pleasure, Heaven Up Here, All My Colors, Turquoise Days. If you like 80s alternative, like The Cure and all the other bands that were around at that time, you probably like this if you haven't heard it already. Echo and the Bunnymen, Heaven Up Here. Great album. Up next, this is the Bunnymen, Stop Dragging Me Down. This is a reissue of their first album. The original has a different cover. The original came out in 1990. This one came out in 92. I love that cover, the cover art there. If you look at it, I'd say it's kind of a parody of the famous Jimi Hendrix poster of the flying eyeball. I think that was for a Fillmore concert that he did. But anyway, great album cover, great album. Bunnymen, if you don't know about them, they're definitely punk, like hard rock punk. They do great songs like No Way Back, I Don't Care, Stop Dragging Me Down, Ain't No Friend of Mine. It's really good punk. If you like early 90s styled punk, this one's pretty good. The Bunnymen, Stop Dragging Me Down. Up next, this is a classic, Love Forever Changes. This is from 1967. This is an original press on Elektra Records. It's on the gold Elektra label there. But really good. Everybody knows this album. It's such a classic. I found this in a used record store in the mid 70s. I think I paid about $2 for it. But such a great album. I mean, I love the song A House Is Not a Motel. Great song. The Red Telephone. Bummer in the Summer and You Set the Scene. Great stuff. Really, really good. Everybody knows this album. Everybody probably has a version of this album. But yeah, Love Forever Changes. Up next, this is Nico, the Marble Index. This was her, I think her second solo album. Yeah, I think it was her second album, but this is really dark. It's mostly just her, Nico, playing a harmonium with some added instruments by John Cale. But man, talk about depressing. I mean, I like this album. It's kind of like how Joy Division is kind of depressing, their music, their lyrics and stuff like that. The same thing with her. I mean, especially this album. It's just so dark. I mean, if you're ever in the mood to hear stuff like this, look this up. It's Nico, the Marble Index. So it's a pretty stark album, I'd say, but a great album nonetheless. Nico, the Marble Index. Up next, this is the Leather Coated Mines, a trip, a, a trip down the Sunset Strip. This is another one of those psychsploitation albums. It's just a bunch of studio musicians recording. In this one, they did like popular psychedelic songs of the day, but they don't do them as straight covers. They're kind of like make it into their own. But they do like 8 Miles High, Psychotic Reaction, Over, Under, Sideways, Down, Sunshine Superman, Mr. Tambourine Man, Puff the Magic Dragon, Along Comes Mary. There's a few songs on here. Oh, this has J.J. Cale on it. He wrote, at least, I don't know for sure if he's really on this album, but he did write a few of the songs on here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 songs on here that were written by J.J. Cale. Whether he had anything to do with the music on this, I don't know, but that's kind of an interesting thing to find out. But yeah, it's pretty good. It's not your typical covers of 60s songs. I mean, this came out in 1967, I believe. But yeah, it's really good. Check it out if you don't know about it. The Leather Coated Mines, a trip down the Sunset Strip. And up next, this is Hot Tuna, Yellow Fever. This is a great album. Love this album. Love Jorma Kaukonen's guitar work, Jack Cassidy's bass. By this time, they had become like a trio, electric trio. Hot Tuna started out mostly as an acoustic duo with Jorma and Jack Cassidy, and they expanded as they went along. They expanded their sound. At one time, they were like a 5-piece band featuring Papa John Creech, and that was a good period too. But this one and a few other ones after this, they were a trio, electric trio, guitar, bass, and drums, and man, is this good. Some of the songs on here, Baby What You Want Me to Do, Hot Jelly Roll Blues, Sunrise Dance with the Devil, really psychedelic guitar work from Jorma on that one. Song for the Sire Maiden, Song for the Fire Maiden, Barroom Crystal Ball, Halftime Saturation. All of this is really good. If you like Hot Tuna, if you like Jorma Kaukonen's guitar work, check this one out if you don't know about it. It's a great album from Hot Tuna, Yellow Fever. Oh, this came out in 1975, by the way, and it's on Grunt Records. So there you go. And up next, this is the Stooges, their first album. This is a Vinyl Me Please reissue. It contains the John Cale mix of the album, and this is pretty good. It is different from the original recording, but I think it's a little more punchier. I don't know. To me, it sounds better. It sounds more up front. Everything's like more powerful, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'm just rambling on here, but it's a great version of this album. From Vinyl Me Please. This came out about 3 years ago, 2020. It also comes with a reproduction of the original album sleeve. This is a photography by Joel Brodsky. It says courtesy of the Joel Brodsky estate. So there you go for that. But yeah, John Cale did a pretty good version of this. There's that inner sleeve. Really cool picture of the band there. Yeah. John Cale mix of the first Stooges album. A really good album. If you don't know about this one, you might want to check it out. It's well worth seeking out. The Stooges. Up next, this is the Stranglers, Rattus norvegicus. I'm not sure what the 4 means there, if that's any significance, but great album. This is, I believe, their first album. This came out in 1977. This is a British pressing on United Artists, but great songs on here. Goodbye Toulouse, Peaches is really good, Sleazy. When I worked in a record store when this came out, we used to play that. We used to blast that song all the time. A great album. Lots of punk attitude on this one. But yeah, the Stranglers, first album, Rattus norvegicus. And up next, this is the Bizarros. It's a punk band from Akron. This came out in 1978. It's on Mercury Records. They were from Akron, kind of Velvet Underground influenced, but they kind of added more of a punk attitude to it, the sound, but pretty good. Songs on here, Young Girls at Market, After the Snow, Laser Boys, Lady Dubonnet, Mind's a Magnet, all pretty good stuff. If you like obscure punk, check out the Bizarros from Akron. It's a great album. There you go. Okay, a couple more here. This is Naz Nomad and the Nightmares. Give Daddy the Knife, Cindy. This is a soundtrack to an imaginary movie done by the fictional band Naz Nomad and the Nightmares, who are in reality the Damned. If you don't know already, pretty cool. It's kind of like XTC doing the Dukes of Stratosphere, but they do all covers on here. There's like Nobody But Me, Action Woman, Cold Turkey, Kicks, the Paul Revere and the Raiders song. I Had Too Much to Dream last night. I Can Only Give You Everything. Yeah, really good stuff from Naz Nomad and the Nightmares, also known as the Damned. And last one here, this is One Step Beyond by the Chocolate Watchband. This was their third album. This is a reissue. It's probably a unofficial reissue, but it's on the Tower label. This is pretty good, but it doesn't sound much like their 2 previous albums. The first album, I think it's called, I can't remember the name of it, but No Way Out is the name of it. That one's really good, garage rock, kind of psych touches to it, and it was the band themselves playing the whole thing. Their second album, The Inner Mystique, The first half of the album was done by a bunch of studio musicians, and the second half of the album was the band. This one is the band again, but there was lineup changes, and they have a slightly different sound. It's still pretty good. Some of it's almost kind of R&B, but it's still pretty good. It's a great addition to my Chocolate Watchband collection. I think they only ever did like these 3 albums, but yeah, good stuff from the Chocolate Watchband, one step beyond. So that's it for this week. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope everybody's doing well, and I want to thank you all again for making my last 15 albums from my collection video get as many views as it did. And thanks again to everyone who subscribed and all that good stuff. So take care, everybody, and we'll see you all again real soon.